Hello and welcome to News9 show The South Indian. My name is Sudha Sadanand. As usual, as always, I bring to you 9 top stories from the south of India. Let me now begin with the first, which is coming up on your screens right now. Gruesome and hitherto unknown details emerge in the Renukaswamy murder case. Reports say Darshan admitted to his involvement even as several actors come out in his support. That's the big story, the missing pieces in Renukaswamy murder cases. It's a case which has taken the country by storm and particularly the Kannada film industry. I'm talking about the Renukaswamy murder case and the alleged involvement of actor Darshan in the murkiest of murky murder. As per sources in the latest update, Darshan has admitted to his indirect involvement in the murder of 33-year-old Renukaswamy, who worked at a medical shop in Chitradurga on the night of 8th of June. Darshan admitted to the police about paying 30 lakhs to those who carried out the murder of Renukaswamy. The money was apparently paid indirectly so that Darshan's name is excluded from being mentioned in the case in all its aspects, right from the kidnapping to the murder and the disposal of the body, etc., etc., etc. The police has also recovered several objects which the police alleges were used to torture Renukaswamy before he was brutally killed. This includes a wooden log, sticks, leather belt, an electric device called merge, which was used to give electric shocks to Renukaswamy. The police has also recovered Darshan's clothes and the loafers, that is the kind of shoes that he was wearing on the night of the murder. The police earlier searched for these items at Darshan's Rajarajeshwari Nagar house and also at his friend actress Pavitra Gowda's house, but these items were finally recovered from Darshan's wife Vijayalakshmi's home. Vijayalakshmi was also summoned by the police today and a detailed statement was recorded. The police has also analysed the CCTV footage in the vicinity of Patanagere shed, but it is yet to find the exact and the correct footage where Renukaswamy is being assaulted by the suspects. What it means is they have to still mine the entire CCTV footage. I mean, that still needs to be seen in the minutest possible way. I will first go across to Mohammad Wajiullah, my colleague who has been reporting on the story from day one. Waji, the biggest thing today is Darshan's alleged acceptance that yes, I did pay 30 lakhs indirectly. Take our viewers through how did this unfold, when did this acceptance come to the police, etc. Waji.
Well, all this while Darshan had maintained that he was nowhere involved in the murder of Renukaswamy, but the questioning that was done with the other accused in this particular case, they continued, they maintained their statement that yes, Darshan was involved in the entire thing. In fact, Pavitra Gowda too was involved. She was the first one who slapped Renukaswamy, and it is after that Darshan was involved into this. But Darshan always maintained that he was nowhere involved in the killing of Renukaswamy. But today, in the remand copy of the police, we've seen how Darshan has confessed to the fact that, yes, he was involved in giving 30 lakh rupees to his associate Paritosh, who was then responsible of giving that money to the other people who were willingly, who were being prepared to come forward to say that they were responsible for the death of Renukaswamy, or were ready to take the blame on themselves and were ready to surrender in front of the police. So that 30 lakh rupees transaction was taken from Darshan, and Darshan has accepted to that money. Now that is also a part of the crime itself. You are paying money to hide a crime is also a crime in the eyes of the law. So that way, Darshan is getting closer and closer to being the person who was involved in this entire matter. And now what has happened is Pavitra Gowda and Darshan both have been taken to the Victoria Hospital, where they will be doing a DNA test of or not just these two, but all the other accused also, to see that the evidences or the proofs that they have seized matches with the DNA of Darshan at the side, or Darshan on the body of Renukaswamy, or somewhere nearby. So all these things will be done today to see whether how directly involved is Darshan in this particular case?
But why was Vijay Lakshmi summoned by the police? Now, the thing is about the loafers of this actor Darshan and the clothes that he was wearing. Apparently, the police first went to his Rajarajeshwari Nagar, location. After that, they went and visited Vijay Lakshmi, who said, "Do not disturb us now. I have a minor son." But she did put out all these things, and the police collected all these items from Vijay Lakshmi. Now, what we are hearing is that they were perhaps allegedly estranged. Why was she called by the police? For what?
Well, she's been there for last 4 hours, and she was called in by the police because it is alleged that Darshan, after the incident, went to the house and he changed his clothes over there, and to find out if he also had spoken to Vijay Lakshmi about the incident, whether did Darshan tell that he killed somebody or not, or what was the conversation Darshan was having with her at that point of time, or what was Darshan's behavior like when he came home and he changed those clothes. What did they do with the clothes? To check all of this and to seize those clothes, Vijay Lakshmi was called in, and she gave a statement saying that because Darshan had come home on the night of the killing, that is why the police has called me to question whether they can get more evidences from what Darshan spoke or what conversation I had, and I had come here for that, is what Vijay Lakshmi maintains. So these are the reasons what we've got to know from the police, that the wife of Darshan was called so that she could corroborate all the facts that were there in this thing and to see whether was there any other information that they could get, because right after the crime scene, Darshan, if he's gone to the house, they would get more information from him. But yeah, we already know how estranged the relationship is between Vijay Lakshmi and Darshan, and how Darshan was involved with other people also in the past, and that also irritated Vijay Lakshmi also. And there was also a sexual assault case filed by Vijay Lakshmi a few years back on Darshan also. So we understand the dynamics of the relationship. But from the interrogation point of view, yes, she was called in to see if they could find out more information on what Darshan did after the murder and where were those clothes that he was wearing on that day.
Vaji, the police has also said, and obviously because they want to present all sides of the case, and said that this Renukaswamy was a known offender. Apparently, he had earlier, not just to Pavitra Gowda, but to a lot of women, he had been sending obscene, risque pictures and text messages.
Well, yes, one thing is also very clear in this entire case, that Renukaswamy is not clean as milk. He's also done something which is very wrong, sending somebody obscene messages and photos and videos and alleging something which was not true. And that was something Renukaswamy was doing. And not just Renukaswamy, this should be for everybody who's sitting at their house or at their shop and they have nothing to do and using their phone and sending lewd messages or obscene messages to anybody. Law will catch them too. But what Darshan did in this case is completely wrong. So what we've also learned about Renukaswamy is that yes, he was sending people messages and comments and doing unnecessary stuff on social media, and that enraged Darshan and that enraged Pavitra Gowda, who complained it to Darshan, which resulted in Darshan getting him kidnapped from there and getting him all the way to Bangalore. So Renukaswamy's crime is also not something that would go scot-free, but taking law into his hand and getting him killed is something very serious, and that is what Darshan did, and he's now facing the law.
Mohammad Wajiullah, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed on the Renukaswamy murder case. Several actors have actually come out in support of Darshan, amongst them Kicha Sudeep and also Upendra. Kannada actor Rachita Ram, also in a social media support, said that Darshan was her mentor and she just cannot believe that he was involved in the case. She expressed hope that police will bring out the truth and urged the media to remain unbiased and transparent. Now, actor Sanjana Galrani, she's also come out in support of Darshan. I spoke to Sanjana earlier about the case and what does she mean by her support to Darshan. Listen in. Sanjana, thank you so much for speaking with News9 Live, the South Indian. I just want to bring your focus to the Renukaswamy murder case. You know, a lot of actors have spoken about it. You are one of the prominent actors. But, you know, apart from Kicha Sudeep and Upendra, senior actors who've spoken in support of Renukaswamy, I want to know from your mouth as to what is your opinion regarding this entire murder case in which one of your, you know, members of your fraternity is allegedly involved.
Firstly, whatever happened to Renukaswamy should be condemned completely. It's very, very wrong. And Renukaswamy comes from a very small family. And irrespective of it's a superstar or a politician or an actor or whosoever has done the crime, should be taken into task by the law, is what I say. But whereas at the same time, what happens when it comes to a celebrity is, जब एक celebrity का नाम होता है, without knowing the complete end-to-end facts, without waiting for the charge sheet to unfold, everyone just jumps the gun and says things like, okay, so if this person is involved, this person has done it, and this person has beaten him with his own hand, and this person, that Darshan sir has beaten him and he's gone and bashed into the lorry, and then there's so many versions of this entire murder mystery. So these versions should be condemned. We should be waiting for the truth to unfold, and these versions show a particular celebrity in the worst of the limelight.
Right. Did you
Nobody
know
deserves
that?
to.
Did you know the star
Yeah.
well? You worked in films.
Yes.
Any memories that you have? Would you like to share? Was he
I have
quick?
many memories.
Hmm.
I have many memories of working with him. I worked with him in a film called Arjun, and then he was a part of a film titled Agraja, and we were in the same film titled Agraja. And while I worked with him in Arjun, he comes across like a thorough gentleman.
So let me ask you something, Sanjana. In 2020, you were in a bit of a jam, and we saw the kind of agony that you went through. I'm taking you back 4 years in that case. But are you saying that you experienced this firsthand, and therefore you're saying that let's not go by, let the law take its course, and let's not kind of jump to conclusions in Darshan case? Is that why?
I'm so happy, Sudhaji, that you asked me this question, because this is what exactly happened to me. Let me give you a bit of an insight about my story. Firstly, I support the law and order of the country. I was a victim. I don't know, it was a personal propaganda or what it was, but I was taken without any evidence, without any findings of even one particular cigarette in my house. I was taken into custody, and then I was told I'm just taken for an interrogation. The next thing I knew was I'm not taken for an interrogation. I have been suddenly under arrest. I have been asking, why am I under arrest? The next thing is my mobiles are taken away from me. After my mobiles are taken away from me, suddenly I see it in the news that Sanjana Galrani is not only a consumer, but she's also a drug peddler. And then the next thing I see is Sanjana Galrani. This was during COVID and there were lockdowns. Sanjana Galrani is involved in a 4,000 crore drug, I don't know if I should laugh at my fate or cry on my fate. 4,000 crore rupee drug racket, which was exported from Bangalore to Pakistan. And because it was Pakistan, that's why she's got married to a Muslim man. I'm married to a Muslim. It's an intercaste happy marriage by the grace of God. So, pata nahi kya fine. I was feeling bad for myself. I'm crying on one hand. On the other hand, I know I'm clearly victimized. My mobile phones are taken away from me. So many dirty versions of what has actually happened to me has come out in the media. Who is responsible? If I'm going back to that certain media and asking them who has told you this, our source has told us this.
Right.
मेरे source ने बोला है ये.
So, Sanjana, I do understand that when you come out and
now, finally, as a conclusion, very important thing is I quashed the case in the High Court. The case is been burnt. The celebrity has been, the celebrity figure has been destroyed. The name has been burned. Who's responsible? Now nobody takes responsibility. We are the ones who suffer being celebrities.
Absolutely. And that therefore you come out and you say that let's wait for the law to take its own course in Darshan's case. But you must be reading that a bunch of people, more than 8 people have been taken into custody in the Darshan, in the Renukaswamy murder case. And also, let me also bring you up to speed that the remand, the report that the police has, in which it clearly says that Darshan has accepted that he indirectly did pay 30 lakhs to the people who are allegedly accused in this. Now, you see, it's a mess. If you look at it, there are also several reports coming out how Pavitra Gowda allegedly may have struck him first and how, the murder took place, etc., etc. So, the thing is, things are unraveling now, Sanjana. You were absolutely innocent and maybe, you spent 90 days unfairly so. But in Darshan's case, look at it. Look at it from the prism of an ordinary. You said Renukaswamy is from an ordinary family. His wife is pregnant. The man is dead. The thing is that imagine, yes, what he did was very wrong to send objectionable pictures and text to Pavitra Gowda. As a woman, we both are women. We don't want anyone doing that. But, they could have gone to the law as well. Someone may think, why take law into your own hands? Why punish someone? Who are you?
Sudhaji, I absolutely agree with your points, and your question itself has the answer. Today, technology is very advanced. Somebody is troubling you, you just have the first option to block in a second. In a fraction of a second, you can block that person out of your life, out of your universe, out of your Instagram, out of your WhatsApp, out of your Facebook, out of your Gmail. Everywhere there's a block option. So, of course, there was a block option, and this certainly shouldn't have happened. And when it comes to another point that you mentioned, that Darshan has accepted, I would like to intervene there. When I was in police custody, मेरे साथ भी ऐसा ही हुआ. मेरे मोबाइल फोन्स एक तो मेरे हाथ में नहीं थे. बाहर जो चाहे वो आ रहा था. और मैं अंदर custody में थी. I was inside in the custody and it was told out in the media that I have accepted that I'm a peddler and I have accepted that I have done a 4,000 crore deal. Whereas in COVID, I was not even earning, or none of us were even earning 4,000 rupees. Forget about 4,000 crores.
Right.
This is the irony. So right now, again, I'm mentioning everything which is doing the rounds. Of course, 100% there's a murder here. I'm not blind.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not a starstruck woman. In my case, there was no base or no evidence at all. But everything was just completely built up. But however, here there's a definite murder, and I really must see that wife of Renukaswamy, the unborn child, should get justice. Those old parents should get justice.
Yeah.
But still, what I believe is, yes, a 1% situation has led to a 10,000% situation here. That is something I definitely know. And this shouldn't have happened. I completely condemn this. And the particular criminal, whosoever is involved in this, should be punished.
Sure,
Sanjana, I definitely not be left loose.
Sure. I hear what you're saying, but then there have been past cases in which Darshan has gotten into several controversies, and the recent one is the exotic bird that he kept behind a cage. And the police are investigating that, and there have been earlier, and also his manager, the suicide of his manager, and then the disappearances of his manager earlier called Muralitharan. It all is very, very kind of sleazy and something which is begging for an investigation. I mean, when the police, maybe someone like you who's an actor who has a spotless kind of record, sure, I understand. But in this case, the man is controversial in the first case. Do you think that is going against him, Sanjana?
See, all of us have situations that come up in life. When I pull out my car and I'm driving in the highway, God forbid, my cars touch a little bit. It's like Sanjana went and banged into this man. That's because Sanjana is having this entire exorbitant exaggeration. It's because she's a film actor. So whatever happens in an actor's life, little or big, there's a very exaggerated, zoomed in picture of it which comes out. And if anything, and even in the earlier past, we've seen him and his wife also having serious issues. But tell me one thing, every husband and every wife have serious issues at some point of time in their marriage. But the irony is, if you are a celebrity, you live in a glass house which is being zoomed in by everyone in the world. So even if you call somebody a stupid or an idiot, they'll be like, "Acha, this person does not have
All
culture
right.
in them."
So I get the drift. You're
You know?
basically saying that you do feel that Darshan is perhaps right now being hemmed in. You know, there is a lot of kind of news reports about him, and you're saying let's wait and watch because you feel that Darshan is someone who needs that kind of space. I mean, you don't believe, like unlike
Every
Icha Sudeep
person
or
needs that
Upendra,
space.
everyone's come out and said, you know, look at Renukaswamy's widow today.
My very first slogan is, of course, justice for Renukaswamy. My very second thing I would like to say is we need to respect the law and order in the country. The very reason we are sitting so safely in our house, you are sitting so safely in the studio, it's because the police of our country are so excellent and so extraordinary. But lastly, we should not jump the gun and say, yes, Darshan is like this. Yes, he's a harsh man, or yes, this is how he needs to be categorized, or yes, he's a criminal. We need to wait for the law to unfold. We need to wait for the charge sheet to unfold, and we finally need to see what.
Did you know Pavitra Gowda? Do you know Pavitra Gowda?
No, absolutely no.
All right. And on that note, thank you so much, Sanjana, for speaking with us. Thank you indeed. Our next story is coming up. It's about a YSRCP MP, Bida Mastan Rao's daughter, Madhuri, who ran over a man sleeping on a pavement in Chennai and later gets bail. That's coming up after the break. Just don't miss it.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी.
How do you fulfill that promise? Because ultimately expectations have to be met. If you look at the political landscape, is it really changing for women? And what is the inability of the forces that dead bodies surface but not the living people?
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए और कमाना है तो खरीदिए. जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर. पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है Money9. आजादी पैसे की. अभी डाउनलोड करें.
This is News9 Live, India's only digital exclusive live stream. For the early adopters, bringing you the news 24/7. For the smart audiences on the smartest TVs. News9 Live. Stream now on your smart TVs.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी.
All right, our next story on the South Indian YSRCP MP's daughter speeding BMW kills a man. Yet another case of rash driving, yet another case of a so-called privileged young person driving a luxury car, the BMW. On Monday, Bida Madhuri, daughter of an YSRCP MP from Andhra Pradesh, Rajya Sabha MP and former Kavali MLA, Bida Mastan Rao was arrested by the Chennai traffic police for allegedly having run over a 22-year-old man in Besant Nagar. The police have claimed that the victim Surya sustained severe injuries on his stomach, face and chest and succumbed at around 7 p.m. on Monday at the Royapeta Government Hospital. His name was Surya. He was a painter by profession and he was apparently lying on a pavement when the BMW driven by Bida Madhuri, who was accompanied by friend Priya, ran over him while reversing on the Tiger Vardachari street. It is also being said that Surya, a resident of Urur Kuppam, was under the influence of alcohol. Let's listen into some voices. I can hear something being said in Tamil. That's a lot of commotion there. A case has been registered against Madhuri under section 304A, which is causing death by negligence. Incensed over his death, around 50 residents from the area, what you see right now on your screen, including friends and relatives of Surya, protested outside the Shastri Nagar police station demanding action against the driver at around 11 p.m. on Monday. The alleged accused apparently called for an ambulance before leaving the spot. According to a senior police official, as soon as the incident occurred, locals had gotten into a fight with Bida Madhuri and accused her of driving under the influence of alcohol. Bida Madhuri was granted bail, and that's what a lot of people are wondering. And to decode that, I have my colleague with me, Ashok Bagdia, who is the legal editor of News9. Ashok, welcome to the show. It is because these kind of hit and run, these collisions using luxury cars have been playing up on the minds of people for the longest time, you know. And in our country, a privileged man always kinds of loses his fight when it's on the street and a lot of people come there. They're asking, why was she granted bail? If she was, now the crowd said that she had imbibed. But we do not know if she had indeed imbibed alcohol. But just decode this for the viewers. Was she supposed to get bail?
Well, Sudha, as far as the law is concerned, she is being charged of causing death of a person by her rash and negligent act, which is section 304A of the Indian Penal Code. Now, when a person is booked under section 304A, you have to understand that it's a bailable offense because the punishment, the maximum punishment under the law is 2 years. Now, in the last couple of years, there has been a debate over this issue as to whether the laws around these accidents and rash and negligent driving should be strengthened, should be made more in the sense that the penalty has to become more stringent. And in fact, what has really happened is, as far as the new Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita is concerned, it's tried to do something about it. So, from 1st of July, we will see the BNS replacing the Indian Penal Code. And under the BNS, there is section called 1061 of the BNS, which deals with the same offense of causing death due to rash and negligent action. But here, the punishment is again 5 years, is actually more, because under the Indian Penal Code, it was 2 years. The legislators have in their wisdom thought that they have to increase or make the penalty more stringent, so they have increased the maximum punishment to 5 years. But they have made it a bailable offense. But despite the fact that it continues to be a bailable offense, you see, you have to keep in mind when such laws are drafted that I was just going through a data. It was of 2021, where it was disclosed that every year in India there are over 4 lakh road accidents which take place. And out of those 4 lakh accidents, 1.5 lakh accidents result in fatalities, which are life-threatening or are accidents in which the victims lose their lives. So what is really happening is that, number one, the population is increasing, the cars on the roads are increasing, the infrastructure is not keeping pace with it, and as a result of this, We
You
are
know,
also witnessing a lot of accidents.
Yeah, Ashok, but let me play the devil's advocate here. The cars are increasing, luxury cars are increasing, they have become more accessible. We are getting drunk and driving, and after one of our kids gets embroiled in something, we use more influence. You remember Admiral Nanda, his grandson? I mean, it happened many decades ago, but I remember that, and even a book came out of it. Is that apart from the accident, the kind of, you know, strings which were pulled, because money helps money, and there is this nexus which happens. So much like in terrorism, where our country is meandered through different eras, and now when the laws were made more stringent, why is it that in this case, because you wake up and just now the Porsche case, we haven't even woken up to that. We haven't even got our, you know, fangs into that, and then this happens.
Well, undoubtedly, you're right, Sudha, when you say that the laws have to be made more stringent, and there is a need, there is a definite need to make these laws stringent, because what we are witnessing in these 304A cases is that you cause an accident, you snuff out the life of a victim, of a person who could be the sole bread earner of his family, and what happens? Such cases drag on for at least 20 years, Sudha.
Oh my God.
At least 20 years in the trial court only. I'm talking only about the trial court. And follow it up by another 20 years in the High Court and the Supreme Court. So that the justice is never dispensed in such cases.
So you think the laws should be more stringent, Ashok?
Definitely, the legislators in the parliament and the state assemblies need to put their minds and think of a way to prevent drunken driving, and also, even if in case it's not a case of drunken driving, it's definitely a case that people have to be more careful while they are driving.
Absolutely. On that note, thank you very much, Ashok Bagria, for joining us on this broadcast. And the next coming up is Justice Chandru Committee, which recommends banning caste markers like colored wristbands and also other kind of symbols in schools in Tamil Nadu. That's coming after the break. Just don't go away.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबां केसरी.
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience.
One of southern India's largest cities is facing a water crisis in Bengaluru.
Water is constantly not coming. From the past 2 months, we are not having some water also.
The citizens deserve water security at the very least.
We are going office without a bath. The acute water shortage really leading to citizens resorting to use of even private water tankers in multiple areas.
This and more. Streaming on News9 plus news is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
This is News9 Live, India's only digital exclusive live stream. For the early adopters, bringing you the news 24/7. For the smart audiences on the smartest TVs. News9 Live. Stream now on your smart TVs.
Helps beat sensitivity fast. Sensodyne Rapid Relief.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
20,000 people dead and counting. What's happening in the United States of America is unprecedented. You will have to pay for this.
All right, that's our third story on the South Indian, a very important story. That's Justice Chandru. He says ban caste markers in Tamil Nadu schools. Will it happen? We will discuss it. In August 2023, Tamil Nadu was witness to yet another horrific caste killing, or rather, killings plural. The brutal assault on siblings belonging to the scheduled caste community by their classmates in Tirunelveli district. It was then that it was decided that a one-man committee should be formed to be headed by retired Madras High Court Justice K. Chandru. On Tuesday, Justice Chandru submitted his report to Chief Minister M.K. Stalin and recommended that the state government should prohibit students in schools from wearing coloured wristbands, rings or forehead marks indicative of their caste. It also recommended the removal of caste appellations in the names of school. The report said, and I am quoting it here, they, meaning the students, must also refrain from coming to school on bicycles painted with reference to their caste or exhibiting any caste-related sentiments. Failure to comply with these rules must result in appropriate action being taken in addition to advising their parents or guardians. While the words Kalla reclamation and Adi Dravidar welfare should be removed from state-run schools, in the case of existing private schools, the school education department should request these schools to give up caste appellations. At no point can the class teacher call out students by either directly or indirectly referring to their caste, nor make any derogatory remarks about the student's caste or the so-called character attributed to the caste. The panel also submitted that the seating arrangements of students in all schools and colleges should be strictly based on alphabetic order of their names. Additionally, the panel said it was crucial to strictly enforce banning the use of mobile phones by students on school campuses. You know what? A state which is ruled by a government which stresses on social inclusion and social justice and self-respect, which is called Swayamaryada in Tamil, will the Chandru committee recommendation really work? I hope it does, but let's find out. NDTFN advocate Madras High Court is with us, and also Charlene Maria Lawrence, who's a very well-known author, columnist and Dalit activist. Vanakkam to both of you. Thank you for joining us. Let me begin with you, Charlene Maria Lawrence. This is all there in the law. You are not supposed to call me out by my caste name. You are not supposed to segregate me because I belong to any caste. This government, the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, they have a committee. They meet every July. Next month they are supposed to meet. But the kind of caste violence that we witnessed in Tamil Nadu, and I am not cherry picking on Tamil Nadu, I am saying it because it is one of the few states where equality has been there since the decades of the 50s, if I am not wrong. What is going wrong, Charlene Maria Lawrence? Why do we need a commission? Why do we need a panel in the first place?
At least we had a panel now. Sudha, hi to you, good evening.
Hi.
At least we have a panel now, and yeah, it is questionable because we call it a Dravidian model, and we do have violence at government schools and private schools. We have caste-based discrimination rampant across schools in Tamil Nadu, and there are certain things which I've been following because Naguneri case from Tirunelveli is something which was highly gruesome because they entered the child's home and the student hacked him, hacked his sister, and the grandfather died because of heart attack, witnessing all those things. It was very horrible, and that whole week saw almost another two incidents of such atrocities, between students. And what's actually, it's very horrific to talk about that Tamil Nadu, which boasts about Periyar, and Tamil Nadu, which spoke, as you said, Suyamaryada Iyakam, has not able to, inculcate that among the students, and that to higher secondary students is very sad, pathetic. And when you ask, no, what's wrong? When you ask me what's wrong, for example, yesterday I'm seeing the picture and video of Justice Chandru. All due respect to him, who's handing over the document to the government, the CM. Next to him is Mr. Anbil Mahesh. He's the Minister
Education
of
Minister.
Education,
Yeah.
School Education Minister, and he himself is wearing his caste identity marker in his hand. Activists like us have been, calling out that Dravidian politicians have been very casteist openly. They've been attending their caste group meetings, especially Anbil Mahesh, the school education minister, has been attending his caste group meetings, and he has the marker where he was submitting the report. So will he take it out?
Yeah, that's a shame. Shalin Maria Lawrence, thanks for calling that out. I think that's very inappropriate. Let me go to Henry sir. Henry sir, the thing is that you worked in this sector for the longest time. Shalin Maria makes some very, very pertinent points, the young worker, activist woman. I'm asking you, sir, do we need this committee? Justice Chandru is very respectable, honorable judge. I mean, there are reams and reams written about him. I am saying this is all there in the law, Henry sir. Why do we need a panel to tell the school that you will not have caste names, you will not call a student by his caste name? This is Tamil Nadu. This is not some la la land, Henry sir.
Well, Sudhaji, let me make it very clear. We have the SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act.
Yes.
And under that legislation, there are certain things which are banned. So that is clear. And there are repetitions of many provisions of the SC/ST Atrocities Act, which are usually not seen by courts, not seen by authorities, which are reiterated in a very powerful manner in this committee's 598-page report with over 2,741 respondents who have responded. Now, what is important is not only that they talk about caste in terms of untouchability, etc., or caste discrimination, but they also talk in terms of caste names.
Right.
Any caste. And that is important because that is precisely the problem. And that is not banned in any other law. So a social justice government which wants to enforce this has used this opportunity to be able to reflect on what all needs to be done within the system.
Henry sir, I'm sorry to interject. Yesterday I had a DMK spokesperson with me. I was talking about caste. He says, no, our government is the best when it comes to social justice. He says, look at my name. I have not, it's only my family name, my village name or things like that. I don't add any, kind of caste name to me. Tamil Nadu is the only state. I wanted to tell him Bihar discarded it many, many years ago. So the point is, Henry sir, even if I don't use my caste name, sir, if I call myself only Sudha and discard Sadanand or any other name that I have, but still in a village they know who I am, where I live, and they come after me because it has been ingrained in me. What do you do about that?
Chandru has not only mentioned about caste names and caste symbols, etc. This alone is being played up. He has suggested several other steps which are equally important, and I think this is very important for to take forward, and I hope the government will take forward.
All right.
When I say I want to keep what Shalini had just said a few minutes ago, this has to be followed by examples by authorities in power.
Right. So, so let me go to her. Do you think that this will be followed? I have been doing stories, Shalin Maria Lawrence, for the longest time on Tamil Nadu and the hypocrisy, adding feces to the water tank, slapping someone, telling to get off a kind of a horse. I can go on and on. I can actually do a 5-hour show on it. Do you think, like Henry sir says, do you think it will be followed up? You think these young minds who are so impressionable, can they be, eclipsed from this kind of a menace which is going on in Tamil Nadu?
The young minds can be influenced easily, actually, but who did the influence matters. All the influence was done by the caste society, the parents. But right now, what feedback I have on Mr. Chandru's, this whole thing is that two things. One, he has given, the caste identity markers removal, the school name, caste names removal, yes, but he's not spoken about the teachers. Will they come with the identities? Will they be carrying their identities, the tilak or kumkum or the caste names? That is one thing. And then there's a thing about invisible caste identity markers, because activists have always spoken about the wristbands, the botu, the cycle things, everything. But there are invisible identity markers. As you rightly pointed out, there is no reason for me to even talk about my caste in my school. People will find out, because the Naguneri student, the guy who attacked him, knew where he lived, because he comes from, this particular colony or this particular nagar, and they all come from different parts, and they know who is related to who, who is, friends of who.
So you know what, I think the authorities have to really take charge. Even if the teacher is cognizant, poor woman, she's going back home and she's attacked. You see, it's all stops with the authorities. Henry sir, I'm completely running out of time. Henry sir, unless the authorities, like you say, 1973, there is a law, Prevention of Scheduled Caste Atrocities, but no one wants to read you the Riot Act, sir, Henry sir. Everyone is very busy because they have to win elections, you see. They can only win elections if they have their caste appellations along with them. So unless this happens, this will go on. Sorry, I'm sounding like, really a pessimist here.
Yeah, it is very pessimistic. In fact, that's the reality, because that is where officers and associations stand. But here is an example where recommendations are very rooted. They call about a social justice monitoring committee. He comes up with the whole question of a social welfare officer who has to look into the aspect of equality, non-discrimination, and inclusion in schools and colleges. He looks into the student associations. He says there should be student associations which are elected on an annual basis. So there are a number of positive suggestions which have come. But the only problem is, will the DMK ever have the political will to be able to implement all this?
And that's the question, Henry sir. Thank you so much for joining us. And Charlene Maria Lawrence, before I let you go, remember that woman head of Panchayat who was made to sit on the floor because she belonged to a caste? She was not allowed to even hoist the flag on Republic Day. So first of all, I think there are two things here, gender bias and caste bias. I hope Tamil Nadu comes out of it. Thank you so much, Charlene Maria Lawrence. I've completely run out of time, or else it would have been wonderful to give both of you more time to talk about it. But thank you very much. I have to move on to the next story, and the next story is about cricket. Legendary Sri Lankan cricketer Muthaiya Muralitharan to invest 1400 crores in Karnataka to set up a beverages and confectionery manufacturing unit. How wonderful is that? So there we have it, fans of Muralitharan. He is investing money in Karnataka, 1400 crores. Legendary, he is Sri Lankan cricketer Muthaiya is all set to invest 1400 crores in Karnataka. This money will be used in setting up a beverages and confectionery unit in Chamarajanagara district in Karnataka. This information was of course given out by the office of Karnataka's Minister of Large and Medium Industries, MP Patil, after he met with Muthaiya Muralitharan. As per the statement, Muralitharan plans to produce beverages and confectionery under the brand Muthaiya Beverages and Confectionaries. The proposed unit will be set up on 46 acres of land, which has been allocated for the project and is expected to bring in operations early next year. Muralitharan, of course, runs a soft drink business in Sri Lanka, and this latest development comes as part of his business expansion plans in India. How wonderful can that be? All rara to Muthaiya Muralitharan and to the fans of Muthaiya Muralitharan. So as promised, I leave you with some of the other top headlines from the south of India. Namaskaram, Vanakkam.
There are beautiful golf courses, there are well-played golf courses, there are great greens. But I think we are a combination of everything.
Now, because of the nature-friendly atmosphere here, plenty of water, you can hear the birds. So lots and lots of birds live on this golf course.
Every corner you have a different vista. You have the beautiful Sayadri range behind you and it's just endless. It keeps going on and on and on and on. So I think no matter what floor you are, you're always slapped in the face by this most amazing view that takes your breath away for a second.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
When we talk about India, unfortunately the country has the highest burden of road crash fatalities.
तो लगभग 76% लोग pedestrians और two-wheeler वाले हैं जिनकी death हुई है. While the highways are getting better in India, the local roads, the city roads, the town roads, these need to be improved.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
One of southern India's largest cities is facing a water crisis in Bengaluru.
Water is constantly not coming. From past 2 months, we are not having some water also.
The citizens deserve water security at the very least.
We are going office without a bath.
The acute water shortage really leading to citizens resorting to use of even private water tankers in multiple areas.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है Money9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
India's security forces have eliminated 160 Naxalites in the first 6 months of 2024. Close to 140 Naxalite revolutionaries have been killed in Chhattisgarh alone. The remaining have been taken out in Maharashtra. This is the biggest ever operation against Maoist extremists since 2004. Since a change of guard in December 2023, Chhattisgarh state's forces have killed 140 Naxals, arrested 352 and made 175 to surrender. Is it the end of Maoism in India? News9 Plus decodes. The Maoists want to carve out a separate region from Pashupatinath in Nepal to Tirupati in Telangana. They want to dethrone elected governments through violence. Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra and Telangana were the Maoist hubs till a few years ago. Union Home Minister Amit Shah says India will be free of the Naxalite menace by the end of 2026. He claims the problem of Naxalism exists only in certain pockets of Chhattisgarh. According to him, the states which have been freed from